What up? Welcome back to Cool Kid TCG. Here we have a purple Luffy mirror match. We won the dice roll. We're going first. This is a great sign for us. Our opening hand is Luffy Taro Songoro, Gum Gum Giant, Nine Mom, and a Law Searcher. It's about as perfect as could possibly be asked for. The only thing we could really want is a Zoro Juro, and we'd be on path for one of the most perfect curves. We start off with a 1 for Law Searcher, search top 4 for a cost 2 Straw Hat or Heart Pirates, and we grab the Zoro Juro. So already everything is like going as well as possible. Win the dice roll, have almost the perfect curve ready to go. So feeling ultimately really positive right now in this game. He establishes a law blocker, or excuse me, not law blocker, a law of his own. Searches top 4 again for a Straw Hat or Heart Pirate that has a cost or 2 or higher. Cannot grab Gum Gum Giant with it. And cannot grab itself. He grabs a 2K Soba Mask and passes. We draw another Songoro, but we're on path. We're going to swing 5 into life, and then we're going to leader ability Zoro Juro. He gives us the 2K Frankie. That's a good sign that he gives us a 2K rather than a 1K. We tap 4 for the Zoro Juro, and we're going to search. We got to grab a 2K Soba Mask, the big boy Luffy, but we decided to grab the Luffy Taro. With the amount of Songoros in our hand, we already have one. We could Luffy Taro back-to-back turns. That'd just be an incredible play, establishing both of those. So I really like the idea of that. He swings 5 into life. We have 3 Songoros, so we're going to give him 1. And then he's going to leader effect, ramp to 5, and establish the Eustace Kid blocker. So his curve is going about as well as possible for second 2. We grab the Hitokiri Kamazo 2K off the top. We are currently at 6 Dawn. The idea being here is we're going to leader effect, ramp to 7, and establish Luffy Taro. So we swing 6 into the Kid blocker. Let's just milk a card out of hand. He gives us a 2K. We leader effect, boom, 7. Our leader is active even though it's rested. Return the 1, and we pass. So we did miss a leader swing, I guess, there. Mistake on my part. But yeah, our board's pretty full. He has a Kid blocker. He can Luffy Taro get that Dawn back. That would be ideal for him. That'd be the ideal play. I mean, establishing the Kid blocker on his second turn, again, is probably the most ideal play. He's thinking everything through. But yeah, we're at a situation where next turn we could ramp and play the Lin Lin, or we can Luffy Taro Songoro again. We have some options. Both really strong options. He's going to start off with a 5 into life. And I'm going to give him the Hitokiri Kamazo 2K. Oh, he establishes the Luffy Taro first, so that I think he can swing a 6. He was about to swing a 5 into life. But then I think he decides to do this first so he can get the Dawn back from Kid. He plays the Luffy Taro into Zoro Juro. Strong play. He searches top 5 for a Straw Hat. He grabs the 9 cost Rush Luffy. That's something that I have to be worried about, especially next turn where he's probably going to be at 9 Dawn. Because I believe right now he's at... No, maybe not. Maybe he could ramp next turn to play it, I believe. We're currently at 6 Dawn, going to 8. He's going to swing 6 into life. And we're going to give him the 2K Kamazo. And then we draw a Nami blocker. We could Luffy Taro Nami. That did cross my mind, but I thought let's be aggressive and establish another Luffy Taro Songoro. We start off with the 6 just to draw the card. See, we draw the Law blocker. So already getting some value off of the Songoro. We remember to finally restand our leader. the thing about it is I kind of want to draw that kid blocker out, so I swing into it. So I swing 5 into life, and he blocks with the kid. Now we swing 8 into the kid. You could say the blocker blocked, but I want that kid off the board because of the value you can get. It did intercept 2 swings, so it did do a lot of value. Now we swing 6 into life, keeping all Dawn standing, and we're going to tap 7, and we're going to Luffy Taro into Sangoro. Again, we could have ramped and played the Big Mom, but I decided just to go wide. I really like this idea of having 2 Sangoros on board, 2 Luffy Taros, be wide as all possible, and we have 1 Dawn standing for a Gum Gum Giant in case he decides to swing into our board. So feeling very strong. We have a 2K Usohachi as well, a blocker we can establish next turn if need be. And yeah, Gum Gum Giant. We're in a really strong position. This is where he's at 9 Dawn, and I think I need to think everything through, because he has that 9 cost 10k Luffy. That's kind of what's in the back of my head. I know he's got it. He doesn't have to ramp to play it. I don't want to lose. I'm going to probably lose a body, but I don't want to lose like a bunch of body. I don't want my board to be completely wiped. He swings 5 into life. I give him the 1k. He swings 6 into Zorojuro, and we're going to give him the Nami blocker 1k. We're just thinking it through, but that's what we're going to end up doing. And then now he's going to swing 8 into Soba Mask. Here's where we make an interesting decision. We're at 7 Dawn, and we're going to Gum Gum Giant and go down to 5 and be at 7 Dawn next turn. This is kind of low, and we're going to have to pitch the 9 cost Linlin. So there goes that idea. But our board is full. Kind of abandoned idea anyways. We draw into a Nico Robin blocker and a Law Searcher. But the reason being is I'm thinking that Rush Luffy's coming down, and like at this point you can kill 1, but you're not going to kill 2. That's what my thought process was. But that Rush Luffy doesn't come down. He instead plays the 9 Mama of his own. He heals. He puts our Sangoro away, and he establishes a big body. Good play for him. But our board's still pretty wide, and ultimately I think we navigate. He does ramp 1 now for a Gum Gum Giant, but our board's still wide and intact. So feeling okay about it, despite the fact that we are at 7 Dawn. Wish we were at like 9. We do draw into a Gum Gum Giant. So we do have that. We have a Nico Robin blocker. At this point, the move is probably, we're going to ramp to get to 8. The reason being is I want my Sangoro to be able to draw us a card. Thinking about where to swing. We're thinking about whether we want to put Dawn on it, but then I think, no, let's see what we draw first. Maybe we can like draw like a Luffy Tar. I don't know. Just thinking. We do, I believe, draw the 9 cost Luffy. I wish we could have established that this turn, but we're at too low Dawn and no way to get to 9 because we already ramped this turn. So what we're going to do is we're setting 3 Dawn aside because that's going to be the Nico Robin blocker and the 1 up for the Gum Gum Giant. The rest of what we're going to do is we could play the Law Searcher, but other than that, it's going to be put on characters to swing. We could try to, we're going to swing into the Zorojuro. Make him either give us 2 cards or clear a body. And we're not going to try to swing into that Luffy Taro at all. We're just going to swing 8 into life. Let's bully his life. We have 3 life. And we're going to establish a blocker and a Gum Gum Giant. So maybe we can get into a situation where we can win next turn. Just put some pressure on. Swing 7 into life. We're either going to get 2 cards out of hand or get him down to 1 life. And then we still have a big board. Or excuse me, a big swing coming with lead. He's got around, I want to say, 6 cards in hand. And if you Gum Gum Giants, he's going to stay at 6. So we're not going to be able to whittle his hand that size down if he does that. But hopefully he can give us a 2K, 1K. Or at least we get the Gum Gum Giant out of the way. We clear one. He decides to take. Here's where I decided to play 1 for the Law Searcher. We can't grab that Gum Gum Giant, unfortunately. The only card we can grab is Usohachi. So we grab that, but that's a great card to have. Another 2K, and it can rest. We have 3 Usohachis in hand. Feel amazing about that because we'll be able to rest a blocker next turn if he decides to block her up. Or we can use them for 2K. And then we put the rest of the Dawn on and swing 8 into life. Maybe it would have been better to swing 9 into life, but I like the idea of getting that Usohachi. Because the reason I would think it would be better to swing 9 into life is because if he Gum Gum Giants, he would have to give us that plus 1 more card, because Gum Gum Giant goes plus 4, gets him up to 9K lead for the battle. So he'd have to give us that plus 1 more counter. He does Gum Gum Giant and draws his 2 cards, returns to 2 Dawn. So he is going to be at 9 Dawn again next turn. So not the full 10. And we play the Nico Robin blocker and pass. We are currently at 8 Dawn with 1 standing. If we Gum Gum Giant, we'll again be at 8 for the next turn. But we could ramp to 9 and play a big body, such as a Lin Lin or that Rush Luffy we have. He currently has 3 swings. Oh, he did get one piece of information. He did give us that 9 cost Luffy as part of a Gum Gum Giant. So we don't have he doesn't necessarily have it anymore. He decides to swing 6 into life. We decide to block. I'm still thinking about that Luffy, about if he's going to establish it or not. He's thinking about where to do this swing. I decided to block just in case he has like a Sanji or something like that he's going to play next. Let's just get the blocker out of the way. He swings 9 into 10. We give him 2 Usohachi 2Ks. I feel comfortable doing that because I still have 1. Maybe I let that Soba Master or Sanji die if I don't have another one, because I want to be able to rest a blocker next turn if he decides to block her up. Because ultimately right now, where our board's at, we really could push hard for game. He has 1 life and we have 5 strong swings. He's got 9 Dawn standing, and he still has lead to swing. If he establishes something such as like the 9 cost 10 Luffy, yes, he's probably going to kill something on our board, but we could also Gum Gum Giant. He decides to swing 8 into the Sanji. I decide to give it to Gum Gum Giant at this point, because now I know he's not playing the Rush Luffy. I don't have to worry about like protecting anything anymore. And he could play the Sanji, I think, at this point. No, he couldn't. But there's no Rush in this deck, so let's do that. And we draw into a 4th Usohachi in case we needed it. He plays a Eustace Kid blocker, and at this point, I think he's got about, again, 4 or 5 cards in hand. I'm at 8 Dawn. I have 5 swings. He does have 1 standing for Gum Gum Giant, but I'm thinking this is the point where we push for game. Maybe we could have played it safe and not pushed for game, but I really love the idea, especially with a 4th Usohachi, to be able to rest the blocker another turn if need be. Let's rest that Kid blocker. And then now the floodgates are kind of open. Let's start poking them with 7s. Let's start with the Songoro, so we can draw. We draw a 9 cost Lin Lin. But yeah, we're going to start poking with 7s until we get that Gum Gum Giant out of his hand. He gives us 2K, 1K. Let's poke him with another 7. Actually, no, I think we might just 8. We swing 9. Yeah, we swing 9, so if he Gum Gum Giants, he's going to have to give us something else. Plus, and if he takes, then we can put the rest of the Dawn on Luffy Taro and still have a Zoro Juro leader swing in case he somehow counters out of that huge 11K swing. We could also ramp 2 if need be and get an extra Dawn. He decides to give us the Gum Gum Giant now, which ultimately is okay. I like the idea. Let's get this out of the way. And he's going to have to do that +1 card. He gives us the Lost Searcher. He has 3 cards in hand at this point. Let's swing 8 into life now. Maybe the Dawn management could have been a little bit better, but either at this point, it's going to take 2 cards out of his hand of 2 2Ks, and he's going to have 1. And then we can like 7-8 for game, something like that. He takes, and then now we swing a big 9 for game, and we get it. So ultimately, the takeaway here is win the dice roll against Purple Luffy. I feel like I've been actually pretty fortunate about winning the dice roll against Purple Luffy. Able to take advantage this time. Respect to the opponent, really strong player. And I think ultimately all that it came down to was just going first. I think this game's completely different if I go second. Also seeing Luffy, Taro, Songoro on back-to-back turns is very strong. Maybe we could have tried to establish the 9-bomb, but I really like that Luffy, Taro, Songoro. I probably would have done it a third time if I could. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Let me know in the comments if there was any mistakes, anything like that, anything I can improve on. I know I missed a leader swing at one point, but thanks for tuning in, and see you next time.